Boe selector Alfie Boe on choosing Italian for his new album. OK, it's time to meet our next guest. Now trained at the Royal College of Music, his performance at the 25th anniversary of Les Miserables in 2010 propelled him into the musical stratosphere. He's the biggest-selling British tenor today. Good morning, Alfie Boe.
Bravo! Bravo!
Wonderful, darling. Wonderful.
Alfie, your story, it's extraordinary. It really is an absolute roller coaster. You will through the course of this interview. From sleeping rough in Hyde Park to performing at the Queen's Jubilee, I mean, your life should be made into a musical, surely.
It's a little crazy, yeah.
It's bonkers.
It is a bit crazy. Yeah, the sleeping rough thing was rough. It wasn't great. But I didn't really have anywhere to go.
Turn into a musical.
Yeah.
I'm on a bench in Hyde Park, now I'm singing for the Queen.
He worked really hard on that. Standing ovation.
Is that what it feels like?
Yeah.
You need to go and eat some cheese on toast. Sorry, I'll drop that joke. I will drop that joke. I'm sorry.
I love it. Keep doing it. I love it.
Was your love of music sparked from a young age?
It was. You know, I grew up listening to lots of different types of music. My family record collection was really eclectic. You know, I come from a large family, so everybody had their own interests. We had classical music, rock and roll. Elvis Presley was featured heavily in there, and but really the first time I ever heard songs like this on my new album was people think, where did you hear that song? Was it one of your dad's records? Or was it on TV or something? It was the ice cream van in my neighbourhood.
No.
Was Volare?
No, O Sole Mio.
Oh, Sole Mio, of course.
Yeah, and you're like,
it's
a wonderful tune.
So every time I sing these songs, I think I'm going to get ice cream at the end of it. I'm really excited about it.
Well, when did the Italian element kick in? I mean, you've obviously always loved music, but when did you think, do you know, I could do an album of Italian music?
Well, I did an album of this sort of music a while back, but I wanted to do another collection of these songs because there's hundreds of these songs. There's beautiful, beautiful songs out there. But I wanted to make an album of songs that were very sort of traditionally orchestrated. So I used 5-piece rhythm section. I've got like 2 guitarists, double bass, percussion, and accordion and mandolin players, things like that. So it's very traditional, back to the way it would sound if you were in Italy walking through the streets, sort of thing.
We've actually got a clip. I mentioned Volare earlier. This is you in action. This is from the new album. Take a look. Thank you very much. Was that video done in Skegness?
Yeah.
Scarborough? Where were you there?
I was going to say Burnley, but I said that yesterday and got in trouble for it.
So funny. Well, where was that?
That was in Positano on the Amalfi Coast.
I was there recently. It's one of the most magical places in the world.
Stunning. It's beautiful.
Wow, love that place.
So the album's called Serenata.
Very good.
Said it
very good.
Right.
Beautiful.
Did you serenade your wife when you first met her? You met her when you were in the Cost of La Bohème.
Yeah, I didn't serenade her. I invited her to a show, but when we first met, I was walking out of a little kitchen area to get in a cup of tea, and I was holding this like trucker's cup, so it was a thermos cup. It was a huge base to it and a tiny hole at the top so they couldn't spill or anything. And I'd gone through about 4 or 5 tea bags trying to get my tea bag inside this cup, and I was covered in tea and paper everywhere. I was like, and so the first thing I looked up and I saw Sarah, my wife, and I just said, you can't get a decent cup of tea around here. And that was my chat-up line.
That was it, and it worked.
You know, 11 years
she was
later,
like, marry me.
Yeah. We're meant to be together.
She thought I was stage crew. She thought I was working on the show as stage crew. Everyone was saying, Alfie's really good in the show. He said, wow, you must shift those boxes really well.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Let's talk about the other string to your bow, acting. Obviously, Matt is on the show today, Downton Star. You've kind of dipped your toe into a costume drama. You're on Mr. Selfridge.
Yeah.
How does that differ from, you know, obviously the singing, but being on stage and being in front of camera? Was it a difficult transition?
It was really interesting for me because doing a stage performance, you really sort of have to project. You know, you really sort of.
Everything's larger than life, isn't it?
The cheap seats at the back. You got to
exactly.
You gotta project. Yeah.
So I'll be projecting to you, Steve. It'd be, but like when I did Downton, when I did Mr. Selfridge. It was really
screaming all over.
It was really interesting. It was like, yes, hello, Alfie Boe's on the set. Whoa! But no, it wasn't. It was like I couldn't believe how quiet they spoke.
Yeah,
I really couldn't believe it because I don't know if it's right, Matt, but you do just speak, you whisper your lines.
You just talk like you talk because otherwise
You've
it
got a
sounds like you're shouting
right
at people
there.
that are standing right. Did you have to wear the ridiculously kind of starchy
I was in it
shirt?
for like 16 hours. I got cramp at one point.
It's like a suit of armour, right?
Yeah.
So your main tip for acting is just keep it down a notch. Just talk normally.
Yeah, just talk normally because there's a microphone right there. And they pick up everything. It's
you do more acting after
I'd love to.
Mr.
I'd love to, yeah.
You should. You're fab in it.
He's producing a couple of films, so I'm going to tap him on the shoulder later on.
Sweet.
Hey.
I'll tap him too. Alfie's album Serenata is out now, and we put a link to his tour date on the Twitter page.
Yeah, thank you so much. Alfie Boe!
Thank you. Thanks, Alfie.